From the hay loft door. I'm not a farmer, but I'm going to draw a right triangle. From a hay loft door, so here's my barn, and usually loft doors, I don't know, maybe the animals sleep below and they put the hay above. From the hay loft door, Ted sees the dog on the ground. So here's my dog. You like my dog? Looks like a stick figure, doesn't it? The angle of depression of the dog. So let's draw the line of sight. So here's my line of sight. I'm going to label it line of sight. The angle of depression of the dog is 40 degrees. So looking from the line of sight, looking down to the dog, the angle of depression here is 40 degrees. Again, we just talked about the common mistake is to write 40 here. Ted's eye level is 16 feet above the ground. So this kind of double verifies that Ted's up in here in this hayloft door window or something, whatever it is. He's 16 feet above the ground. So I'm going to write 16 feet here. Ted's eye level is 16 feet above the ground. How many feet must the dog, so how many is a question, right? You can put like your X. How many feet must the dog walk to reach the open barn door directly below Ted? So here's the dog. Ted calls the dog. The dog has to walk all of this distance, maybe to the door or something like that. Okay? So this is where my X is. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to draw a triangle. One of these is, I already have two sides labeled, and I can just draw the complement. Complement means 40 plus this equals 90. Therefore, this angle has to be what? 50. So that triangle is going to look like this. 16x and 50 degrees. Okay? Now, if that's too much work for you, you can also draw this triangle over here. Do you guys see it? It's a rectangle. So this is 40 degrees. Opposite sides of a parallelogram, that's what a rectangle is congruent. So this side is also 16. And then opposite sides are congruent, so this is x. So you can say you're solving this triangle. Drew it the wrong way. Try this way. So you can have 16 feet, x, and 40 degrees. Raise your hand if this one makes more sense to you. Raise your hand if this... Well, I didn't do that on purpose. Raise your hand if this one makes more sense to you. It doesn't matter. You'll recognize that you'll get actually the same answer. So if I start here as my starting point. Class, what size do you have? Huh? This is the opposite. This one is the hypotenuse. Therefore, this one's called the adjacent, means next to. So you're going to use which trig function here? Tangent of 50 degrees equals our opposite over the adjacent. Therefore, that's going to be tangent of 50 equals what? X over 16. To solve for x, you're going to cross multiply. Remember, inverse talks about solving for an angle, so I'm going to have x equals tangent of 50 times 16 is my calculator ready equation. Let's look over here. This is my starting point. Class, what do you have here? Opposite. And this one is the hypotenuse. And this one is the adjacent. So now I have tangent, because I have opposite over the adjacent from SOHCAHTOA, 40 degrees equals our opposite over the adjacent, which is 16 over x. I'm going to cross multiply. I get 16 equals tan 40 degrees times x. I want to solve x, so I'm going to move tangent of 40 to both sides. My calculator-ready equation is x equals 16 over tan 40. Let's go ahead and approximate both of these. It says to the nearest foot. I'm on degree mode. Extra parentheses, 16 times tangent of 50 degrees. I get approximately 19 feet. And now I'm going to do this side. I get 16 divided by tangent of 40. Extra set of parentheses. And you'll notice I get approximately 90 feet. So, class, do you have to do both of the triangles? No. I'm trying to show you that there are two ways of getting the same answer. You can choose one of those. But the big idea is that the angle of depression is looking straight out and then looking down.